As we know, this all started with a mouse, but really, this all started with a man. And this man, of course, is none other than Walt Disney. For this video, that is, I thought of reviewing something special, and for Walt's birthday. And that is, of course, I'm in fact reviewing, actually, straight from the Walt Disney Treasures, the DVDs of Walt Disney Treasures, and that is your host, Walt Disney. Ah, yes, your host, Walt Disney. This would probably have to be one of my favorite of the Walt Disney Treasure DVDs, right next to Legendary Heroes of El Fago Baca and the Swamp Fox, and the Davy Crockett one. And pretty much almost every Walt Disney Treasure DVD is opened and introduced and hosted by film critic Leonard Maltin, who, actually, because Leonard Maltin, he's reviewed a lot of Disney films. Like he's one of the critics right there that is like very close with Disney, because I've seen him review some stuff, or he would be. I even remember the Aladdin Special Edition DVD. He was there, and because celebrating Aladdin and such, I guess celebrating his 10th anniversary or whatever, at what used to be the Aladdin Stage Theater, at Disney's California Adventure. But anyways, with that being said, let's jump right into the Walt Disney Treasures DVD of your host, Walt Disney. First up, from 1956, it's Where Do the Stories Come From? And this one is actually pretty good because, what goes on in Where Do the Stories Come From, because with Walt Disney, of course, talking about, first starts off talking about, say, Donald and Daisy, and we cut to Oliver Wallace, one of the great composers of Disney, writing a theme song for Daisy, and then we cut to a short film with starring Donald Duck and Daisy Duck alongside Chip and Dale. Donald is on his way to Daisy's place, I guess both of them going on a date or something, and I forget what what it's called that Donald's on, that wheel kind of thing. I really can't remember, but Chip and Dale intervene with Donald, and it ends with Daisy taking Chip and Dale in and just, saying to Donald, "Shame on you," just, and with Donald, phooey. And then the next thing that Walt talks about is about Pluto, and we cut to another short film with that stars Pluto and Mickey, and and also the antagonist, with Pluto, a raccoon, and at the end of that short, because the raccoon fools Mickey and Pluto, pretending to be a mom and such, using a raccoon hat, to be like its child and such, which is pretty funny. And then after that, Walt then talks about another short film of Donald Duck, this time him joining the army, and even, during that, because, Donald, he wants to fly, and, fly in one of those planes, and we even get the appearance of, say, Pete, and, yeah, it's a pretty funny short. And then, the next thing that Walt talks about is trains, and, we cut to, some footage, and with Walt narrating over it, because, him and some of the crew, riding on some model trains, and even talking about, I guess, a train that, that would become, I guess, the train for Disneyland, if I remember correctly. And even some footage of Walt, just wanting to ride the tracks and such, and, not to mention, because even, he had some guests, come in and, ride the train, and also one of them, which being Kirk Douglas, which that's pretty cool, and that was during, I guess, probably during 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, or whenever, but yeah, that was pretty cool seeing Kirk Douglas there, and he was the head of, riding the train, which that was pretty cool. And Walt, talks more about trains, and this time,
another short film plays, again with Donald Duck and Chip and Dale. And I remember seeing this Donald Duck short film, along with Chip and Dale. I remember because, I guess, either when I was at the Disney parks or maybe the Disney cruise, they played this short film. I want to say it was the Disney cruise because I remember watching that, and because it centers around Donald and Chip and Dale, and I guess Donald, he built a train model set or whatever, and Chip and Dale, they come in, they go into one of the model houses and make it their own or something. And it also has to do something with a tree, I guess, that the two live in or something. I really can't remember, but yeah, it's a pretty good short film as well. And when that's over, we cut back to Walt and, talking about next week's show, and talking about the story of the Silly Symphonies, and there are a few clips shown of it, like with the Big Bad Wolf and the Three Little Pigs and the Three Little Wolves. So yeah, where do the stories come from? It's pretty good, and just everything to it is just awesome.
Once again, where do the stories come from? It's really good, and I enjoyed it, because everything that was going on, just, from the short films with Donald Duck, Chip and Dale, and with Pluto, and also talking about trains and seeing Walt Disney and some of his crew, riding on some train models, and as I said, with the appearance of Kirk Douglas, it's really good. It was really good. But anyways, moving on.
Next is from 1957, which is the 4th anniversary show of Disneyland. In this one, the first half of this episode, in which Walt celebrates 4 years on TV, is about how Sergei Prokofiev's composition, if I pronounced his name right, I don't know, I was having trouble pronouncing his name, but anyways, composition, Peter and the Wolf, which he played for Walt, convinced him to make a cartoon short based on this piece. After that, the second half involves the real celebration in which the Mouseketeers from the Mickey Mouse Club question Walt on his plans for future shows and convinces the startled studio chief to give a special preview on one of the projects planned is a never-made live-action film called Rainbow Road to Oz. What's great about the 4th anniversary showing is not only do the Mouseketeers, they act out what would be in Rainbow Road to Oz, but we also get appearances / cameos from Guy Williams as Zorro and Fess Parker. And actually, because Fess Parker, he sings a song about upcoming stories to, Walt Disney's show, Andy Burnett, played by Jeremy Cortland. Yeah, I said that right, Jeremy Cortland. And also, near the end of the Mouseketeers performing, what would be in Rainbow Road to Oz, we get a quick cameo from Mickey, which, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, and yet, he says to Walt, I've been here this whole time, that's, good old Mickey, so, but yeah, and with Rainbow Road to Oz, because it seemed like it would have been pretty good and, decent, for like a Disney live-action musical and such. But later on, it eventually was, the idea of doing a movie of The Wizard of Oz, didn't happen, and instead, they ended up making Babes in Toyland.
And with that, the 4th anniversary show of Disneyland, it's really good, and because with the Peter and the Wolf short, it is really good, and don't worry, I will of course be reviewing that later, and and also because it would have been interesting to see when Walt was alive, if him and his crew, they would have done a Wizard of Oz picture, and which being Rainbow Road to Oz, which never came to be. And even though, because throughout those years, because Disney had owned the rights to the Oz books, and up to like the 80s, it was almost about to expire, and it wasn't until in the 1980s when they made Return to Oz, which was kind of mixed, but it did grow a cult following. Not only that, but fast forward years later, we had, of course, Oz the Great and Powerful, directed by Sam Raimi, and honestly, I enjoyed it. It wasn't that bad. So, Disney's adaptations from, the Tales from Oz, they're okay and such. I mean, what would have been Rainbow Road to Oz, I'm sure it would have been, as I said, a decent live-action Disney musical. And instead, we got Babes in Toyland, which kind of didn't do so well, but in some ways, it can't be that all bad. But once again, the 4th anniversary show of Disneyland, it's really good, and I enjoyed it. Anyways, now moving on to the next one.
Kodak Presents Disneyland 59 is a television special that covers the massive expansion of Disneyland in 1959. It aired on June 15th, 1959 on ABC and was sponsored by Kodak. The event was also covered in the Color News theatrical feature Gala Day at Disneyland. Walt Disney and Art Linkletter co-host a live celebration of Disneyland's 1959 expansion that consisted of the debuts of Matterhorn bobsleds, the Disneyland Elweg monorail, and the Submarine Voyage, a project so massive that it was called the second opening of Disneyland. Highlights include a mammoth-starred studied parade and the official launching of the Disneyland submarines by U.S. Navy officers. Among the guests are then Vice President Richard Nixon and family, Clint Eastwood and Meredith Willson, who leads the Disneyland Band in his own 76 trombones sponsored by Kodak. The commercial spokespersons include Ozzy and Harriet Nelson.
And also, in the parade, not only Clint Eastwood, but also because one part of the parade, because of these bumper cars coming in, because more stars, they come in, they're in the parade, and from, because I think Dennis Hopper, yeah, he's in the parade too. You have Dennis Hopper, you have Jeffrey Hunter, you have Darren McGavin, you have, even Lassie the dog is in Kodak Presents Disneyland 59. You also have Tommy Kirk, you have, well, of course, as I mentioned, Richard Nixon and his family, they're there as well, during the event. We also have in the parade, in the Frontierland section, we have, because there's Guy Williams as Zorro and Robert Loggia as El Fago Baca, which that's really cool, because, them in character in the parade. And according to, because the host, because saying, look who's coming down, according to him, the kids were screaming, obviously, because of El Fago Baca and Zorro. Yeah, because they're, the big heroes of Disney, so, But yeah, so even Ed Sullivan, because he appears a few times, advertising the Kodak cameras, as well as a couple others I can't remember, but because even that one commercial, and that you can find online and such, of Ed Sullivan on the Jungle Cruise talking about the Kodak cameras, which is really cool. But yeah, so with that, because Kodak Presents Disneyland 59. It's really good, and, because a big event and such, and, 1959, and, with its attractions from the submarine voyage, Matterhorn bobsleds, it was really good. And now, we continue on to Disc 2/Part 2, this time we go to the TV specials that are in color, and of course being Walt Disney Presents The Wonderful World of Color.
This holiday edition of Disney's TV show presents the cast and crew of the failed 1961 film Babes in Toyland in a stage rap party, co-hosted by Disney and Annette Funicello. Tommy Sands and a 12-year-old Ann Jillian sing, Ray Bolcher dances, Edwin and Gene Sheldon provide laughs, and everyone gangs up on director Jack Donahue.
And the backstage party was actually pretty good too. Two things that were really cool in that, and very nice, Edwin was giving a Mousker, which was actually an award in the shape and form of Mickey Mouse that Walt gave to him, which that was very sweet, and because, Edwin, a big legend and star, and, for him, working with Disney, so, and at the very end, because I I really can't remember. I think it's the director because Babes in Toyland, I'm pretty sure it is the director because this was his last movie he was working on and before he would retire. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember, but I think I think it's the director. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But yeah, overall the backstage party, because of Babes in Toyland, it was not bad and pretty good. And now we come to the next one, which I think probably is one of the most popular of the Disney TV specials, and, with The Wonderful World of Color.
Disneyland 10th Anniversary is an episode of Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color. It aired on January 3rd, 1965. The show begins with Walt introducing viewers to Disneyland's worldwide ambassador, Julie Ream, who has been named Miss Disneyland Tencennial. Walt guides Julie through the Imagineering department where the artists give sneak peeks at upcoming attractions like It's a Small World, Pirates of the Caribbean, and the Haunted Mansion. Walt then calls up Tinkerbell to magically transport them to Disneyland in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle. Mickey Mouse and dozens of other characters have gathered for a big celebration. The newest member of the family, Mary Poppins, flies down and puts on a show with her chimney sweep friends. Afterwards, she flies away, but not before conjuring up a giant birthday cake with dancing candles who sing the anniversary song. We then see a parade take place down on Main Street where a band and dancers from various high schools march before a cavalcade of characters cavort down the street. Next, Walt describes a brief history of the construction of the park, followed by a look at the many attractions that have opened in the years since its opening. This includes by a tour of some of the attractions at the time, including but not limited to Matterhorn bobsleds, Jungle Cruise, the Flying Saucers, the Mine Train through Nature's Wonderland. We then go behind the scenes of Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room before we sit down and watch the show. The climax of the episode is a look at nighttime in Disneyland, and we view the annual Dixieland at Disneyland event with a Dixieland band on the Mark Twain riverboat, as well as some other boats and a water show on the rivers of America.
So yeah, this one, because I think I could be right, because it's probably one, if not one of the most popular TV specials of Disney, because, with Walt giving a tour with, for Judy Ream of the Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, and It's a Small World, and with the appearances of some of the Imagineers, big ones, from Mark Davis to, Claude Coates, Rolly Crump, and Bob Gale, if I'm saying, I think Bob Gale, and what's her face, who big time on It's a Small World, and more clips like what's their names, the family, because big time of Disney, and they're at the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse, the Mills family, I think, Haley Mills and the father, her father, who played the father in the film Swiss Family Robinson, which that's a pretty good movie. It's really good. I'll review that, of course, later. And yet, of course, the footage of the Jungle Cruise, the 10th anniversary show of Disneyland is, if not one of the most popular Disney TV specials, and I love it. It's really good. All right. And also, now we come to the stuff that's on the bonus features. Starting with I Captured the King of the Leprechauns.
I Captured the King of the Leprechauns is an episode of Walt Disney Presents. It aired on May 29th, 1959. At the urging of Pat O'Brien, Walt Disney takes a trip to Ireland in search of actual leprechauns to appear in his Irish picture, the result being Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
And this one was actually pretty good too, and, seeing Walt acting and such, that's awesome, and, we, even seeing, clips, and I guess, we get a little teaser for Darby O'Gill and the Little People, so, and, I plan to review that too, Darby O'Gill and the Little People, later, but and yet, Darby O'Gill and the Little People, because Sean Connery in a Disney film is is freaking awesome. So, So with that out of the way, let's come to the next film that's, in the bonus features, and thus being Disneyland USA at Radio City Music Hall. Disneyland USA at Radio City Music Hall is a 6-minute short filmed in CinemaScope at Radio City Music Hall in 1962, created as a pre-show for the documentary Disneyland USA. In this short, Walt Disney on film interacted with Mickey Mouse, a costumed performer on the stage of the nation's largest indoor theater. The gist of the movie is that a New York telephone operator is looking to talk to Hollywood, but gets connected to everywhere else. She finally gets through to Walt, who is not expecting company. Ever the showman, he puts on his coat and talks about talking Disneyland from a dream to a reality, occasionally addressing his star rodent from afar. And the last one in the bonus features is like a mini documentary or something called Working with Walt. Basically, Leonard Maltin narrating it, and we get interviews from the members of the Mickey Mouse Club, which that's really cool. But yeah, so you know what, because with all that said, and your host Walt Disney could be, if not one of the best of the Walt Disney Treasure DVDs. Now, of course, the rest are great, of course. As I said, like, this one is my favorite, alongside with Legendary Heroes and Davy Crockett. I also in there as well, I want to say, yeah, the Mickey Mouse shorts as well. So, but in fact, I those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I own 4 of those. Or no, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4. I own all 4 of those. So there you go. So yeah, and yet the stuff that's in here, because it's really cool, because this, limited and such, because yeah, like some of these the Walt Disney Treasure DVDs, they're limited and such, and you can only get them, say, at the Disney parks. I'm pretty sure you still can, or I'm not really sure. You probably not, because they came out, like, say, probably back in 2003 or 4, so, and also, this, a manual, because, like, this, and probably, this is very nice, a picture of Walt Disney. And this, because it reads this: in 1954, Walt Disney embraced the small screen, and Disney became the first major studio to produce a weekly television series, Disneyland, aka Walt Disney Presents and Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color. On October, and also it says this: on October 23rd, 1956, this publicity photo of Walt Disney was shot for the Disneyland TV show while he was filming one of his lead-ins. So that's really nice. A great picture of Walt, don't you think? In closing, the Walt Disney Treasure DVD of your host, Walt Disney, probably would have to be one of the best of the Walt Disney Treasure DVDs. And because what better way to celebrate Walt's birthday than for me to do this video that you're watching, and to celebrate the man who started it all, Walt Disney. So, with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this special review video in honor and to celebrate Walt Disney's birthday. Once again, I hope you enjoyed my review of your host, Walt Disney, the Walt Disney Treasures DVD, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review video. Take care, peace out, and happy birthday to the man who started it all, Walt Disney.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.